I wanted to run away, I wanted to die, but I couldn't let my baby girl. So we walked onto this boat. It's the largest boat I've ever seen. And they shackled us up 2 by 2. And although they had the same skin complexion as me, I didn't recognize them as my native. And I believe they did this on purpose so we could not understand one another. And as soon as we were chained together, they put us below deck in this place so small, it was like a grave. And you couldn't sit up. And we were stuck there. That's where we used the bathroom. That's where we ate our food. And it became so filthy that people began to die. They died because the disease was prevalent. I remember waking up one morning to the person I was chained to was covered in lice. They took us aboard deck. And they cut her off from me. And they threw her overboard like she was nothing. And I remember I wanted to go with her. I want to go with you. Because I don't know where I'm going, and this is where I'm starting. I don't want to go. I don't want my child to know. So I call out to my ancestors. Let me die.
Let us die. Let us die. Let us die, please. Let us die. 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 Sister, sister, sister. Sister, sister,
it shall be better. One day when our ancestors come for us, it shall be better. 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 It shall be better.
This evening I want to speak about the Middle Passage, which brought us here. However, there's a historian by the name of E. Franklin Frazier. And E. Franklin Frazier said that we lost our Africanity during the Middle Passage. That once we got to the the American plantation, which was a little bit different from the African plantation. You know, Africans did try plantations at one time. They were abysmal failures in Africa. Africans were people that were at one time, before the 15th century, they were not agriculturalists. They were nomads. Just like the Indians here, American Indians, they were nomads. And then when they were forced, the Indians, even the Taino and Arawaks and Borinqueños in the Caribbean, when Columbus came to enslave them, it was a total failure because these people were not used to staying in one place and digging in plantations. They roamed around. Africa was an immense continent. Immense continent. We talked about this in our last session. And most Africans prior to the European were nomads. They traveled around. However, of the three remarks that I want to make before I get into my presentation, one is about not retentions, although there are retentions here in the United States of our Africanity. AME Zion, that A is African. You go down to places like Charleston in South Carolina and Georgia and even further south into Florida, you'll see the retentions down there. And what I mean by that is the presence of us as descendants of Africans and coming through this continuum of resistance, leaving its mark, its presence. However, what is much more apparent than the retentions are the adaptations, how we have adapted to America, and we're seeing it here in the Dance of the Sisters, in the theater, how we have taken our circumstances and made the best of them. Music is a good example here. You know, we didn't always play European instruments, contrary to popular opinion. At one time, we played purely African instruments. However, when we came through the Middle Passage, they took those away, didn't they? We couldn't play our instruments, but we played our music. Brother Gary, you know that the basis of African music, on the double-headed drum, there's a drum that's round and it has skin on both sides, and it's used as the bass, and you hear that ba-boom, 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 ba-boom. Sounds like a heartbeat, doesn't it? Ba-boom. Listen to any African music. Ba-boom, ba-boom. But they took those instruments away from us. They didn't ask us. They took them. And they gave us Western instruments. But the Africanity, that African sensibility, was still there. We call that jazz music. Listen to Louis Armstrong. Listen to the big band of Jim Europe around the turn of the century. Listen to Buddy Bolden play his cornet. See if you don't hear that Africanity. But that ba-boom, 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 that basis, when they took away the double-headed drum that was the basis, they gave us the cymbal. So instead of hearing the ba-boom, 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 now in the cymbal you hear listen to the great jazz drummers, Cozy Cole. Listen to the Max Roach. That's all you'll hear. Elvin Jones would say to his group, I want to hear it. Talking about that I want to hear it. You see, it's a timepiece, you see. Good evening. My name is Amadou Shakur. I didn't come here to tell you that because you knew that already.